Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome, guys. My name is Jack Zaman. Hope you guys are having a fantastic time. This is Saturday. I'm about to say Friday there. This is Saturday, and as you guys know, on Saturday we have live stream where I try to answer some of your questions. Right. So let's go live onto Instagram. I think people on Instagram now have understood that I do live streams. Okay. Okay, so ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome to everyone here. Dudu wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome. Arabiya Muslima wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sadi wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Welcome, guys. Right, so this is Saturday, and today actually went on a bike ride, and I also had some steak today. Yeah, so I had a medium rare steak. I don't know if you guys like eating steak. I don't know if you guys obviously are meat eaters. And then if you guys like eating steak, what kind of steak do you like eating? So today I had T-bone steak and had medium rare. So I kind of prefer medium rare. Medium rare steak, I don't know. Fully cooked steak, I mean, I can eat it, but I'm not too much of a fan. It becomes a bit rubbery. Yeah, I think it becomes rubbery over. I actually put it up on my WhatsApp, and someone straight away commented, "No, you can't have it medium rare. That looks like it's got blood in there." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Yeah, I knew someone would." So someone would criticize my steak. Everyone likes medium rare steaks. Shukr alhamdulillah. Yeah, I don't know how people can eat like a fully cooked steak. Like it's not slightly pink in the middle. I don't know how people can do it. I don't know. S, do you like eating medium rare steak? Yeah, Aki is saying medium are the best. That's bro. That's it, bro. You know, medium rare is the best. I don't know who else can eat. Mullah wa alaikum assalam. Ahla wa sahlan, my brother Mullah. What's happening, bro? What's happening, Blackburn? I'm missing Blackburn, you know. Said, yeah, I'm not fully cooked steak guy. Don't listen to them. Yes, I've kind of like I've reached that conclusion now where I can't listen to, you know, I can't do that kind of stuff. I can't listen to these guys anymore. Right. I don't know. The light does not see. Let me see if I can just adjust the light. Is that better? Maybe that's better. I think this should be better. Right. So, what else, guys? What's the latest video? Alaikum assalam. Kamzu. Ahlan wa sahlan. Ahlan wa sahlan. Yeah, so that was my day today. Alhamdulillah. And I also found a new thing called karak chai with saffron in there. So I didn't know people had karak chai with saffron. Yeah, so for me, it's a bit of a new thing. And I've started to like it. So I had that today. I actually went out to eat with Maji today. Maji is not here. Maybe he's going to come later. But yeah, I went out to eat with Maji. Let me just open the window a bit. Yeah. It's a bit hot today. Yeah, so the 22-mile ride today. 22 miles ride. There's no good news on my new bike, guys. They found a little crack in there, so I'm gonna have to get that sorted before I can ride it. So I was hoping that I could ride the bike this weekend, but unfortunately, qadar Allah. So Allah, whatever Allah decides, that's what happens. There's a weekend Islamic course I'm thinking of enrolling onto. They specialize in the Shafi madhab. Would you recommend I still go along? Yes, of course, go for it. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, look, all the madhabs are in and of themselves they're correct, meaning that they have been verified by very big scholars historically. So studying that, I mean, if you have obviously any questions on the Hanafi school, you can always ask Hanafi scholars about that. But definitely, I would say if it's a really good one, if you trust the people that are delivering the course, then why not? TXH, wa alaikum assalam. I like your Vincent van Gogh kind of picture there. What is the latest time to pray Asr? The latest time to pray Asr is just before Maghrib hits. So just before the sun sets. That's the latest time. Miss you too, bro. Yeah, man, I know. Next week I'm going back to teaching again. My routine's gonna go back to normal. Holidays over, and inshallah, that's that, man. Tanweer wa alaikum assalam. Is money impure, and can we pray on a carpet which is stained with, or does it need to wash? According to Hanafis, money, so money basically in English means semen, is considered to be impure. The Shafis say it's considered to be pure. So Hanafi say impure, Shafi say pure. So according to us, it has to be cleaned or scraped off at least. Zob wa alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan. Student, in order to be a Muslim, what is the bare minimum a person needs to believe in? Is it simply to believe that there is no God but Allah Muhammad? So the bare minimum to believe in is the 6 things. You believe in Allah, that He's the only one worthy to worship. You believe in that the books were revealed from Allah, that the messengers were sent. You believe in angels. You believe in the day of judgment. You believe in the qadr. The 6 things, what they call iman, mujmal, they call them. Yeah. So as long as they believe in the explanation of those, then that person is considered to be a Muslim. Is the messenger of Allah, or would it be an absolute prerequisite to believe in all 7 articles of faith? Yes, you have to believe in all. Yeah, you have to. If you believe in something that's contrary to anything in Islam, so for example, let's say a person believes in Allah and the messengers and everything, then says, I also believe that Ghulam Mirza Qadian was also a prophet. That contradicts. So that would take them out of Islam. That would not validate Islam. So they have to not believe in something which is contradicting. Ubaidullah Khan, wa alaikum assalam. Arabic language is better than Persian and Urdu. Allah knows best. I don't know how you've decided that. Arabic language is not necessarily, like, when you say best, in what ways is the best? Like someone says steak is better than, I don't know, chicken. Why is beef steak better than chicken? Yeah, why? How? So if you tell me in what way, then I can maybe explain to you. Harun wa alaikum assalam. So is it rewardable act of worship to simply look at a page of the Quran? No, it's not considered reward. عربية. وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. كيف نقضي الصلاة التي لم نصليها في الماضي؟ نعم، فإذا كان عند الحنفية إذا كان أحد لم يصلي صلوات كثيرة عديدة في حياته، فعليه أن يقضي هذه الصلوات. فطريقتها أن يقضي الصلوات يعني بقدر ما يتيسر له. فإذا كان يريد أن يصلي مع كل فريضة، يعني الفريضة الحالية يريد أن يصلي معها القضاء، فيصليها قبلها أو بعدها. هذه الطريقة أفضل الطرق لأداء أو لقضاء هذه الصلوات الفائتة. Is no lying such as I'll let you know if I found this, etc., but don't really respond to the person? Is no lying such? I don't understand the question, Harun. Okay, Zob. If my mother calls me and I am in Fard Salat, should I break? No, don't break your Fard Salat. When is a person not a ma'dhur anymore? When the disease completely goes, or when the decreases enough to give? Yeah, so a person is no longer ma'dhur if one entire duration of a salat goes by without them being afflicted with the breaking of wudu. Yeah, so let's say Zuhr starts at 12 and Asr starts at 4. So let's say there's 4 hours. So from 12 to 4, let's say that time passes, and that thing that they've been afflicted with, the reason why they have been declared to be a ma'dhur, no longer manifests. Then the ma'dhur ruling finishes from them. About the 6 articles of faith, didn't the Mu'tazila deny qadar? No, they didn't. They didn't deny qadar. They believe in the concept of qadar, but they have a tafsir in qadar. So the Mu'tazila have a certain types of tafsir in qadar. Why is car insurance considered halal? No, it's not considered halal. It's haram. Even though you can use public transport, yeah, because this is haraj. So Hanafis believe in something called hardship, something that makes your life very, very difficult. The Hanafis say that this is also something that permits a person to be able to do something. So in this case, that car, like for example, I don't know where you live. I don't know who is it, Harun. I don't know where you live, but public transport is very, very hard. Yeah, very, very hard to access. And because car insurance is not haram, it's actually makruh tahrimi. It's a bait fasid. So that's why it is not treated like pork. Yeah, so that's why there's more flexibility in there. So a person who doesn't know all the 6 articles of faith, but they proclaim the kalima shahada with understanding, would this not be enough? No, wouldn't be enough. So a person who does not know here, wouldn't be enough. Can you work in supermarket that sells alcohol? Yes, you can. عربية مسلمة أستاذ هل يجوز لمس الحائض المصحف عامة ولمعلمة القرآن خاصة؟ نعم عند الحنفية لا يجوز إلا إذا كان معه غلاف. نعم إذا كان معه غلاف يعني شيء فوقه يستره والحائض يعني تمس القرآن بهذا الشكل فهو جائز يجوز. Is Fatawa Rizawiya a reliable book for Faraway? You mean Fatawa? So Fatawa Rizawiya, Maulana Ahmad Raza Khan, I haven't gone through Fatawa Rizawiya. I've just checked a few places in it. I mean, he has like his own. I can't really kind of give a judgment on the whole thing. But in certain masail, I disagree with him. Yeah, like for example, his position on the notes, banknotes, or for example, like his position on building on top of graves. So I don't accept that. What is the minimum clothing a man needs to wear to perform prayer? So as long as from the knees to the navel, it's all covered. Jazakallah khair for answering. I'll be in the Bukhari this year. Please make dua for me. I want to give it my ultra best, inshallah. May Allah put barakah in there for you, and I will make special dua for you, inshallah. Is it a rewardable act of worship to simply look at a page? No, it's not. Arabic language should be better than all languages because it is the language of Quran, the most perfect book. Not necessarily I mean, it is from the language of the Quran, but it doesn't necessarily mean because Torah was revealed in Hebrew, yeah, and other divine books that came from Allah were revealed in other languages. So because it's revealed from Allah doesn't necessarily mean it is the best language in the world. No. So Quran being revealed in Arabic, clearly Allah has chosen that language, but it's talking about, is it talking about Arabic language because Arabic language has evolved over the years? Or is it talking about the Arabic that was spoken in the time of the Sahaba? Yeah. So this is why the scholars say that it's not any Arabic. It's actually the Arabic that was spoken in the time of the Sahaba. That was the one. And even in the Quran, there's many Arabic words that are not in the Quran. So now, does that mean that those words are not good as well? Arabic. Salam alaikum, Ahmad. In nikah, does ijab and qabul have to be in Arabic? No, they can be in the local language. I was more also when I saw the Big Ben in London for the first time. Then when I saw the Kaaba, is there anything wrong with no, nothing wrong with it. It's fine. You can be amazed at something, a structure. Yeah, so it does not mean that you have to be amazed at the Kaaba only and nothing else. You can be amazed at a mountain. You can be amazed at a building, a piece of artwork. Rayhan wa alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan. Had to change my name. Oh, mashallah. Oh, because of YouTube, yeah? Yeah, chalo. Zob Mufti, can we read the Old and New Testament? Yes, you can read it as long as, like the Prophet ﷺ said, as long as you know that not everything in it is true. You're welcome, Kamzo. You're welcome. You're welcome. So I've been putting up my Arabic videos on Instagram, and mashallah, a lot of people have been benefiting from those. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Today I have got my peach tea today. So this is peach flavor tea. Nice. Can the khutbah be given in a language other than Arabic? So there is ikhtilaf in this masala. Some of the scholars allow it, and some of the scholars don't allow it, and some of them say as long as there's a mix between the two. So there's 3 main opinions about this. One group of scholars said it should stay in Arabic. One group of scholars say it's allowed in any language, and one group of scholars say that you can have any language as long as a little bit of it is in Arabic. Yeah, so there's like an Arabic ayat recited or the khutbah or something like that. Any advice for second year starting soon? Inshallah, I would just say with regards to second year, make sure you learn from your mistakes in the first year. Like for example, if you were a bit lazy in revising, or attending classes or making notes in class. Just learn from your mistakes and improve this year. That's what I would generally say. Hanafi mashayikh that studied in Arab countries. I don't understand the question. Hanafi mashayikh that studied in other Arab countries. Which subject do you teach Nahu? In second year, you're saying? In second year, I'm going to be teaching you guys a book called Tuhfatut Tullab. Tuhfatut Tullab is a fiqh text. I'm teaching you guys fiqh. Where do you buy your favorite teas from? So, I actually, a lot of my teas, I'm actually gifted a lot of my teas. This tea is from Turkey. So this is a Turkish tea that was gifted to me, mashallah, by brother Sufyan. And sometimes I drink a tea which comes from South Africa. And sometimes I drink a tea that actually comes from Pakistan. And then I've got like ones that I buy locally. Yeah, so locally sourced ones you can buy in Tesco and Asda and like these kind of like other sort of like tea shops around. So that's what I look for. But yeah, I love, if anyone wants to send me teas, yeah, to taste, send it to me. Send me your teas, man. Jazakallah khair wa iyaki Arabiya. Rayhan, looking forward to inshallah. After a nice, relaxing holiday, alhamdulillah, 1 month or just over 1 month. Classes are going to start again. So my Hidayah classes are possibly going to come to an end, but I haven't made a mind up of whether I'm going to totally stop it. I might continue once a week at night time, about 10:30 at night. I'm not too sure at the moment because a lot of the students, mashallah, have requested that I do continue. So I might continue once a week, twice a week. I don't know. I'll see. I personally benefit a lot from the Hidayah lessons because it's about reading for me. So I do as much reading as I can that I wouldn't normally get the time for. So I used to literally spend 3 or 4 hours a day just reading for one lesson, preparing for one lesson. And I mean, it might seem like a long time, but for me, the time went quick. Trying to search for something, going through the books, finding like interesting points and all that. Out of all masail in the fiqh books, which are you supposed to remember? So you're supposed to remember all of them. The idea is it's a long life-term kind of thing, lifelong sort of like project, you can imagine it as, that you're going to continue learning. The absolute peak of the mountain of fiqh is for you to know every masala and then you to know all the ikhtilafs in each masala within the Hanafi school. That's what the ideal is. If there is no serious psychological issue or memory issue that a person suffers from, would it be sinful to forget any portion of the Quran? No. If a person deliberately does not go over the Quran, then possibly there is a possibility of sin. Yeah. Mufti, what Arabic books do you recommend that are good for beginners in Arabic but are not themselves books of Nahu, Sarf and Balagha? So, I mean, you can read things like Medina books. Yeah, the Medina series 3-part volume. You can go through that yourself. You can even go through things like Arabic Tutor. So Arabic Tutor is a Nahu book in English that you can go through yourself. I mean, do you want story books? Are you talking about story ones? If Salam alaikum Blueberry, what would you say if your favorite tea flavor? I don't know, it's hard. It's a very difficult one because I don't know if you guys, I do not drink sugar in my tea. So all these teas I've been drinking all these years, I don't drink sugar in them. So I like tasting the original flavor of the tea without it being tainted with any sweeteners or anything. So I think possibly it just depends. I mean, I like this tea is very nice. Yeah. I like rooibos tea. I like what else is there? Red bush tea. I like that as well. It's very, it's a hard question. That is Blueberry. You asked me such a tough question. Do I like coffee? I don't mind drinking coffee, but I'm not too much of an enthusiast. I'm not a coffee enthusiast. I would like to, if I could, I would like to go on a trip and just taste different coffees in different places. I wouldn't mind that, but I'm not that kind of a person that would go out of my way just to buy a coffee. Do you drink tea with milk ever? Yes. If I drink like normal, what we call English tea, then I'll have it with milk. How can I advise my father to join? He's skeptical currently and saying that his reason is that he generally home at class time anywhere and goes masjid for the salats. Yeah, I mean, I would say for a person to join, you can't force them. It has to be something from their own sort of like will. Because if you force someone to study and they're not really interested, a small little reason would be sufficient for them to stop the course. Maybe what you can do is maybe you can ask him just to trial it, Yeah, say have a go, a trial, and then you can see from there. How Allah said in the Quran, and whoever honors the symbols of Allah, indeed it is from the piety of the hearts. Can something which was not a symbol of Allah I don't understand, of Allah during the lifetime of the Rasul become a symbol of Allah after his passing? As an example, the green dome. Yeah, so something sha'airullah, the emblems of Allah. So emblems of Allah is anything that everyone knows to be part of, like to do with Islam, to do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So let's say someone builds a mosque that was never there in the time of the Sahaba. That mosque now can become an emblem. Like for example, Masjid Aqsa was built afterwards. So then you having honor and respecting Masjid Aqsa, the walls and the bricks and all of that is also from the part of sha'airullah. Or there could be something else, like the Quran was not written in the time of the Prophet ﷺ in one like book form, fully from beginning to end. But then this became the sha'airullah and so forth. Yeah, it's possible. Which book would you recommend for the layman for the masail relating to Salat? I wouldn't really recommend a book to read on your own unless it's like a very easy, it's like simple kind of book. I would recommend studying it, definitely studying it. Yeah, definitely study. I mean, online, I've made YouTube videos, covers the entire Salat. You can go through it. Quduri is called. Sorry to ask again, what part of the body needs to be covered for reading Quran? There's no part of the body that specifically has to be covered to read the Quran, but ideally you should cover your body, your private parts. The private parts should definitely be covered. Kazma Taz, wa alaikum assalam. What's the best Hanafi fiqh book for modern day Islamic issues? It just depends. Like, see that the way Hanafi books work is not that there's like an ultimate book that is for the modern era. No, Hanafi work is like, for example, like you go through a museum. So imagine like there's 20 museums that you go through. You find these different artifacts, and when you go through them, you learn different things, and then you put them things together. So this is similar to how Hanafi books work. So Hanafi books, different scholars historically wrote on the topics which were discussed by Abu Hanifa and his students. So all the books are required. There's no ultimate book. But yes, if there's, for example, like you want a book which is to do with, I don't know, transactions. So there are like modern books that have been written on modern day transactions, like Fiqhul Buyu by Mufti Taqi Uthmani. That's like a good book. Okay, let's check some questions over here. Haider Ali, do you have any recommendations about the rights of husband and wife in Arabic and the same? I don't know any specific book, but there is there is, like, for example, books that you can get called Ahwal Shakhsiyah. So if you look for books on the title of Ahwal Shakhsiyah fil Fiqh, they usually deal with these kind of like rights. Yeah, Ahwal Shakhsiyah. Do you understand the Egyptian dialect of Arabic? I can understand like maybe 50-50, not all of it. Yeah. And I can't converse in it, no. Yeah. Can't converse in it. Like, like if there's like an Egyptian drama or something, I can probably not understand. I can only 50% of that I can understand. Yeah. So it's like slang. Arabic's Egyptian slang, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, can you recommend any books that are written in fairly simple Arabic, good for students trying to improve their Arabic, but are not actually books for learning Arabic? Yeah, storybooks. Yeah, story, 100%. So you find kids' storybooks. Kutub al-Atfal. Yeah, Kutub al-Atfal is the best one. Is it easy to teach your kids Arabic? I don't know. I don't have any kids, so I wouldn't be able to tell you that. Maybe if someone does, then you can maybe tell them. Just like the Prophet ﷺ is the most highest ranked person of Allah's creation, then his language would also be the highest ranked language in the sight of Allah. It's natural. I wouldn't say it's natural, Ubaidullah. I mean, like, this is a big claim that you're making, because language doesn't work like that. Language evolves as an evolution of language. But clearly the Quran's Arabic is the best. That is the best you can ever have. but it's not natural. Like the way you're saying it, that it's natural. It's like everyone knows this, then everyone doesn't know this. Yeah, like even big scholars have even debated on this issue. Jabir reported the Prophet ﷺ said, "Verily, between a man and idolatry is and unbelief is abandoning the prayer. So do people who live it?" No, the hadith does not mean that. It's like in the Quran where Allah Subhanahu wa Taala says, "Aqim wajhaka lidini qayyim lidini hanifa fitrat Allah fatara an-nas alayh." So Allah Subhanahu wa Taala this is like the Arabic language. It's like English. We say, you know what? The difference between Muslims and non-Muslims is that Muslims go to the mosque. And then you say, oh, but my uncle doesn't go to the mosque. Does that mean he's a non-Muslim? No, it doesn't mean that. So that's what the hadith is saying. The hadith is telling the Prophet ﷺ, is telling the people that, look, one of the main features in the time of the Sahaba to tell the difference between a Muslim and a non-Muslim is that Muslims pray Salat. That's a main feature to identify them. It doesn't mean that for you to be a Muslim, you have to pray Salat. And if you don't pray Salat, you're not a Muslim. No, that's not what the hadith means. So this is the idea. The idea is we take the meanings of hadith from the early generation, just like we take the words of the hadith. Dennis, wa alaikum assalam, my dear brother. Do you know a sarf book to learn the verbs conjunction in Arabic? Yes, there's books. So I don't know, Dennis, if you've seen my series on understanding sarf. So on my YouTube channel, I've got a series called Understanding Sarf. But there's also books out there, like, for example, Arabic morphology. So you type in Arabic morphology books, you'll find them. Or treasures of Arabic morphology. That's also one of them as well. Okay, next. Student, is the practice of Istibrah mentioned in Hadith literature, or is it practice which got passed down from generation? Yes, it's mentioned. It's mentioned in Hadith in the sense that the Hadith indicate towards this. Like we call this like it's a natural follow-on from what the Hadith. So the Hadith says, protect yourself from drops of urine. So clearly that would indicate towards the concept of Istibrah. Trying to get a better job as I'm in a team at the moment. I don't like that at the moment. Please do dua. May Allah make things easy for you, brother. May Allah make things easy. Ameen, inshallah. I'll make special dua for you. Allah says in the Quran, and whoever turns away from my remembrance, indeed he will have depressed life. There are so many. No, it doesn't mean the way. That's a wrong translation. It doesn't mean whoever turns will have a depressed life. That's wrong. That's a mistranslation. That is higher. Donka is different. Yeah. Practicing Islam, but they have not had a depression in their life. Yeah, so that's why the translation is wrong. Also, I'm a bit confused about the function of kana yakunu when doesn't make a verb continuous past. I don't understand your question. You need to elaborate more. Is the hadith, ask Abdul Razak. Zopi, you got contact with Abdul Razak. Abdul Razak is very good at this. Yeah, ask him. He'll explain things to you. Haider, do you affirm Husam al-Haramain? No, I do not. I think it was a big blunder by Maulana Ahmad Raza Khan, unfortunately. Yeah, scholars make big mistakes, but unfortunately Husam al-Haramain is a big mistake that he made. Is the hadith about Arabic being spoken in Jannah authentic? No, it's not. Yeah, it's not authentic. And the same with the Persian being the language of the fire of the hell. It's not authentic. Where did they get that much hatred of? Just wanted to say thank you for your work you do. Ameen. Jazakallah khair. TXH. May Allah bless you immensely in this dunya and the akhirah. Ya Allah. Yeah, so, well, let's check out some Curious Cat. I haven't checked out Curious Cat in a while. Curious Cat. Right, let's see. Okay, Assalamu alaikum. Would it be permissible for me to leave some money for my non-Muslim parents while I go away, knowing they will likely? Yes, it's permitted. Wa alaikum assalam. It's permitted. Assalam, yes. It's allowed. Yes, you can. Okay. If someone prays Fajr, then goes back to sleep and then wakes up again and they see they had a wet dream but don't remember it and are certain it was before or after Fajr, are uncertain if it was before. Okay, in that case, repeat the Fajr after you take a bath. Wa alaikum assalam. I struggle to do sujood because of my weight. If I do sujood, I need to use a chair or couch to help me sit up. Other than that, I stand, go up and down is fine. Is it okay? Wassalam. If you can get up even by using a support, then you can't do ishara, i.e. indication. So if you can get up, even if you use like a chair or something or a support to get up, then you can't do ishara. You're gonna have, unless it's very, very painful, then you can do indication, like ishara instead of ruku and sujood. Okay, Salam. Would you know what is the reliable source to find in which E numbers? No, I don't know. Salam. No, I'm unfortunately, I don't know. Salam. If I have to make up some Juma prayers that were invalid, do I make them up regular Juma prayers or pray 2 rakats, or do I have to pray 4 rakats? Salam. 4 rakats. Also, what do I do if I don't know how many were invalid? Take a rough estimate. Only repeat the prayers if you are 100% certain that they were invalid. Okay. Okay, someone asking a Nahu question. You'll have to answer that separately. Ya Allah. Right. عربية مسلمة. أستاذ، هل هناك أي جامعة لتدريس طلاب الدراسات الإسلامية في لندن؟ لا أدري، ممكن نعم، فيه بعض المدارس هناك، لكن لا أدري هل هناك، يعني أنا قد ذكرت لك أيضا هذا من قبل، هناك بعض يعني المدارس المسائية تقريبا يوميا تكون لساعتين للأطفال. نعم. فإذا ذهبت إلى لندن إن شاء الله ستجدين مثل هذه، لكن يعني من الصباح إلى المساء لا أدري هل هناك فيه مكان أم لا. Please make more how to read. Inshallah, I will be making more, my brother Spear Sports. I will be making more, inshallah. How do you interpret the hadith? The water of Zamzam is what you intend it for. So basically means whatever intention you make when you drink it, that dua will come true. I think there was a lot of hatred towards Persian. Okay. I need to learn some more dua in Arabic. Any ones you particularly like, Sheikh? So I would say learn the morning dua, the evening duas, the duas when you go to the markets, duas when you drive the car. Do you know those? Good website for e-numbers? I have no idea, my brother Naveed. I already have asked him. He's still a bit confused. I just mean basically, what is the function of yakunu? How do I know when to use yakunu or jumla ismiya? I don't understand. So, so like, what kind of example do you have? Do you have like Zaid yakunu? Is that what you're saying? I'm still not sure what you're trying to say. If I recite sajda tilawa ayah, must I do sajda as soon as possible? No, you can do it delayed, but ideally you should do it as soon as possible. You can do it later on as well. الجامعة للطالبات فوق سن لا أدري. نعم، ممكن هناك، أنا لا أعرف بالضبط، فأنت إذا ذهبت هناك فتسألين إن شاء الله. Have you memorized the Quran by heart? No, I have not. Ustad, how to improve Arabic vocab and morphology? Is it more for memorizing? Read Arabic books, my brother ZZ. So what you need to do, ZZ, is you have to read Arabic story books. Ideally, read children's story books. That is the best thing I would say. If you haven't hit the like button, guys, make sure you hit the like button. Story books are the best. Like, I am so surprised, students that study Arabic, the lack of their personal Arabic reading. I don't understand why. If you're learning a language, it makes sense to expose yourself to as much Arabic as you can. Yeah, read Arabic storybooks, read Arabic newspapers, read Arabic magazines, That is where you're going to get your vocab from. Yeah, so don't just learn individual vocab. Read a book. There's loads of kids books you can get out there, children's books. There's loads that you can get. Yeah, Allah. Yeah, so that's basically what's the latest. That's the latest with me. So tomorrow, inshallah, today was a very nice day as well. MashaAllah, weather was excellent. And oh yeah, I also went Bradford this week. So for those of you guys who are not aware, went to Bradford. MashaAllah, met up with Zed, and also met up with Umair. Also met up with Sufyan. Yeah, and also met up with Mullah Hanzala. So many, MashaAllah, people I met up over there. And it was a very nice. I went to Shimlas. I don't know if any of you guys have eaten at Bradford's Shimlas. I ate there. The food isn't fantastic, right? Because I'm from Birmingham. I think we're used to kind of a large variety. So I had a nice food, mashallah, alhamdulillah. It's very enjoyable. Yeah, Allah. Yeah, and also back to, so those of you guys who are interested, you live in Birmingham and you're interested in studying the Alimya course, As-Sufa Institute is going to be starting their Alimya course, or the part-time one, this week, inshallah, for Monday. It's not going to be online, before anyone asks. They don't have any online courses. It's actually on-site. Yeah, and I know a lot of people don't have the ability to access on-site, yeah, for various reasons. But I'm honestly, firm on the belief that proper knowledge cannot be sought without being on-site, without being in front of your teacher physically. That's what I personally believe. Yeah, maybe others will disagree with me, but I personally believe that's the best way to really, gain a firm understanding, because there's so much benefit in being there on site. Yeah. If you make a mistake in reading in Salah, but you correct yourself, do you need to do sujood or forgetfulness? No, you don't. No. Sujood is, I've explained about the sujood in my Quduri videos, when you have to do sujood. So if you go to my Quduri series, let me see if I can find it. Forgetfulness. Yes, here it is. Prostration of forgetfulness. That's what it's called. Sujood of forget. Many other part-time Alimya programs are like 3 hours and 5 days a week, yet take like 9 years to become an alim. So I've not understood how so far part-time. Yeah, I mean, so basically, so there's two things over here. The first thing is, what is their standard? That's the thing. What is their standard? I don't know what their standard is. If their standard is very good, if it's 3 days a week, that is like, you can almost say, a full-time. That's what I would class as a full-time. So if it's 3 days a week, 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, I would almost count that as a full-time. Yeah, because it's intense. It's 9 years. So you think about that. How many hours are you going to get out of the whole thing? I would count that as a full-time, not a part-time. Yeah. So what a Sufa basically does, second thing is, what a Sufa does, it takes out the essential things that you have to learn for an alim course, and it gives it to the student. Now, the student that qualifies from a part-time is never going to be the same as a Sufa's full-time. Sufa's full-time is going to be way ahead of a part-time student. Yeah. So if you had the two, if you had one graduate from part-time, one graduate from full-time, the part-time would never be able to match the full-time one. Yeah. In the ability to be able to, like, fully understand Arabic and be able to teach and all that, because they've got much more contact time. But the part-time one, with a lot of extra training after that, like a lot of reading can reach up to the level. So we've got students who have done part-time and who are very almost on par with full-time ones because they did a lot of work on the side. Yes, they made Urdu, still the hours spent are so different also. Yeah, so that's why I said, I mean, I've seen certain places that do like so-called part-time Alimya courses and the students are not very good, unfortunately. Yeah, they're not up to scratch. Like if I test them, I know they're not up to good. And I'm not saying that Asufa students are all perfect. There are many Asufa students who are weak as well. But if you're gonna have like kids, especially like kids joining, you got like it starts from 13, the age of 13. I don't consider that to be an Alimya course. Yeah. And if you're going to do like a 9-year course and you got Urdu in there, you're going to spend the first 2-3 years teaching them Urdu. Again, I don't consider that to be like necessary in the Alimya course. So I would also like to say that I benefit a lot from your surf classes. I mean, Jazakallah khair, Zizi. Jazakallah khair. May Allah bless you. I need to, inshallah, start those surf series again. Yeah, definitely. Minhaj wa alaikum assalam. Would it be permissible for me to wear infinity links? Links are a bracelet that allows you to carry your chargers or USB on your wrist. Yes, that would be because the function is not jewelry. So basically, a man can wear something as long as the function is not considered to be primarily adornment. So like a watch, so if I got a watch on, it looks nice and flashy, made from like I don't know what metal, but it's not primarily for adornment purposes. Its primary function is a watch. So likewise, this bracelet you're talking about would primarily function be safekeeping. That would be allowed. I mean, Rehan, ideally, what I would like to see in the future is a whole survey done of all these part-time courses and full-time courses in the UK. A whole survey of what they exactly teach, what the results are at the end, as in like what the capacity of each student at the end of it, what they can do. So maybe like give them a standard test and see how they could achieve in that. And then that would give us, like, if you had all that information, you could have all that information presented to a student or to anyone public on a website, and it could just like you compare the market. You could actually see which madrasas are actually high caliber. And I would love to see that because that would allow me to change things in a sufa. I know how far the benchmark is to work towards that. And ultimately, it's the deen of Allah. It's Allah's religion. It's not that we're trying to show in front of anyone. We're trying to say, look, we're better than these guys. Or this, no, it's not that. The idea is we all have to work hard. Yeah, it's not just to kind of marketing. We have to work hard because it's the deen of Allah. You're qualifying people tomorrow who are meant to represent Allah's religion. Like this is a serious thing. It's not like some joke where you can qualify people left, right, and center. And I've seen people like you probably know yourself. In a sufa, there are some people who actually study in a different madrasa, the whole alim course. They actually got a certificate that they're alims, and they had to go back and start from year 1 in a sufa. Imagine that. There's madrasas out there where they're giving certificates to people, and when they come to a sufa, they have to be put in the first year. And that is a big, serious thing, that is. Yeah. But are the part-time grads still considered ulama by a sufa? I know others would anyway. I know, but are the part-time grads? So part-time grads is in a sufa ones. Yeah, so we consider them to be like the concept of ulama. What does that's a question, isn't it? What qualifies someone to be an ulama? Like, what do they have to know? What skill do they have to have? So we believe that the skills that they've learned is sufficient to be like the bare minimum of ulama. Yeah. And then after it's like a doctor. Someone qualifies as a doctor. There's like 100 people in the class. A few of the guys are going to be like really elite, really good. Some of them are going to be in the middle. Some of them are going to be very kind of low down, like that. How do you okay? Assalamu alaikum, Haydar. It says in Fiqh al-Muyassar, وَلَا يَجُوزُ الْقَصْرِ إِلَّا إِذَا خَرَجَ مِنَ الْقَرْيَةِ وَتَجَاوَزَ عُمْرًا. So if I intend to travel to London and stop at Warsaw, I can shorten prayers. Yeah. So you're from Warsaw, I guess. So you leave Warsaw, and then you can start your qasr. Mo, ahlan wa sahlan, my brother Mo. Is it permissible for a man to wear a silver necklace? According to Hanafis, if it's just for adornment, no. Men are not allowed to wear like jewelry for adornment, primarily adornment purposes, because that's a thing that is reserved for women. How do Hanafis feel about Imam Bukhari's view on the Hanafi madhab? Is it true? I don't know what Imam Bukhari's view on the Hanafi madhab is. Can you tell me where to look? What is the Hanafi position on tawarruk, sitting position in Salat? It's allowed. For women should do it, but for men it should be the normal position of where you raise the right foot and you sit on the left foot. There's too many people opening madaris nowadays, but they themselves have never done the Alimya course, which is really sad, and they don't take advice from those who have. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. It's becoming like a trend now. See, when something becomes a trend, that's when we should be afraid. Yeah, because when something becomes a trend, it's only there for the sake of it. It's not there for a higher purpose. Yeah, so if something is there for a higher purpose, there's always checks in place, checks and balances in place to make sure, are we really doing it for how we should be doing it? Or is it just to bring people in? And the scary thing is, there's like places in the UK who are nowhere qualified to teach Alimya courses, and even online, and they're teaching it. And then what happens is, people are actually going through them, and they're getting certificates, and they're getting like khatams, and you're thinking to yourself, subhanAllah, what are these people going to do tomorrow? Yeah, and the day of judgment, how are you going to answer to Allah? That's the main thing I'm afraid of. So this is why there needs to be like some I don't know if the word exposure is important, or there needs to be transparency. At least every madrasa has to have transparency so people can see what's happening. I'm from Birmingham. I meant leaving the place of Birmingham that had buildings. Yeah. I was listening to Sheikh Faraz Rabbani, and he said that the Imam Bukhari was critical of the madhab, and he mentioned how he only critiqued the Hanafi madhab. Yeah, so I mean, there's nothing specific that Imam Bukhari has said, I don't like the Hanafi madhab. He's given subtle hints that possibly can indicate towards Hanafi madhab. I mean, not everyone was agreeing with Hanafi madhab. Yeah, Shafis were not agreeing with Hanafi madhab. Malikis were not agreeing with Hanafi madhab. It's fine, because that's how critiquing takes place. Critiquing takes place is, you have to be able to take comments from other people, feedback from other people, if you're doing ijtihad. And that's fine. So Shafis have been criticized, Imam Malik has been criticized by people. So many of the tabi'in and tabi'in have been criticized. That's fine, nothing wrong with it. So Imam Bukhari criticizing someone does not mean that that person's wrong. It just means that's how ijtihad takes place. It's like, for example, one mechanic will criticize another mechanic's work, and one mechanic will criticize another mechanic's work. It's fine. Not to say that ijtihad is like mechanic. Where is As-Sufa? As-Sufa is in Aston. So if you Google it, type in ASSUFFA Birmingham, you'll find it. ASSUFFA. Does not covering head during Salah has some illa according to Hanafi? No. So basically, the covering of the body and the head in Salat is in accordance with how you present yourself in the outside world. Because Allah says in the Quran, "Khudu zinatakum inda kulli masjid," meaning you wear in Salat that which you would be comfortable wearing in public gatherings. So whatever you're comfortable wearing in public gatherings, that's what you should wear in Salat. That's why the Hanafis say that wearing in them days, a man going out without his head covered was deemed to be something that was bad. So that's why men were highly emphasized for men to cover their heads when they were praying Salat. Yeah. So this is what it's based upon. Ya Allah. If you haven't hit the like button, guys, make sure you hit the like button. Would you say Imam Abu Hanifa was unprecedented, revolutionary in his approach? In some things, of course, yes. In some things, and just like Imam Shafi was revolutionary in his approach in certain things as well. Basically, every sort of like pioneer that came in the early years had some sort of a unique thing they brought to the table. Yeah, so Imam Malik had certain things. He brought the Muwatta, which was unique in the way it was compiled. Imam Bukhari was unique in the way that he brought his book. Imam Abu Hanifa was unique in the way that he brought a certain way of looking at ijtihad. Imam Shafi was unique in the way that he kind of consolidated between different ways of ijtihad and then writing the book Risala. So it's like a very long thing. I mean, if anyone is interested, I would definitely recommend them to do the Itqan courses. So Itqan is a course that's run by Mufti Umair and Maulana Hussein Patel. So Mufti Umair from Blackburn and Maulana Hussein Patel, they run I think is their website. Itqan Black. Is there a website? Itqan. Yeah, Itqan Institute. Yeah, it's called Itqan Institute. Let me just find you, because I'm actually going through some of their courses. MashaAllah, very, very good. I would highly, definitely recommend it for anyone who is, like, even for S Dudu. Sorry for saying a name like that. But I would definitely recommend, if you're going to go into Dora Hadith, to try and see if you can do some of their courses. I think their courses are, at the moment, only open for males. But, yeah. So, definitely, Itqan, I would 100% recommend people doing Itqan courses. Yeah, and these courses are designed for like students who are in the higher classes of Alimya courses and post Alimya courses. Right, they are very insightful, very well structured. Zizi, do you follow or prefer any madhab? Yes, Hanafi madhab. Salam Ustad, I've signed up for a Sufa Ben Nevis challenge. Any of the teachers going? I wanted to go, but unfortunately I'm teaching on the Friday, so I wouldn't be able to travel. That's the only problem. So I would love to have gone, but unfortunately I'll be traveling. Yeah, email them and find out, because I'm going through and it's really, really important, because I've done a lot of usul hadith and I've taught it a lot, but the way they kind of bring things together and sort of like give a nice structure, historical structure. They go through 8 books of hadith, like a summary of the Bukhari and Muslim, of the main sort of things to look out for. Very, very good. Okay. Usaid, what is the opinion of eating oyster in the Hanafi madhab? I don't know, because Hanafis have never discussed the oyster, but the oyster would be in the same ruling as prawns, I would say. The same ruling as prawns. So if you consider eating prawns to be okay in the Hanafi school, then I wouldn't see a problem in why eating oyster. The general rule that I say to people is oysters are considered to be, or prawns are considered to be according to the locality. If in your locality people eat these types of food, I would say you can eat them. Yeah. Does your hadith course discuss the Hanafi's approach in hadith? I'm getting to it. I just want to finish Quduri. I do discuss it, yeah. Yeah, I do discuss it, but it doesn't go into depth. Yeah, it doesn't go into depth of that, because that's a very high sort of like discussion. Okay. I don't know how to say the name. Al-Paslan. Is it permissible to join prayers in Hanafi madhab? No, not according to Hanafis. Assalamu alaikum. Can Ahnaf pray witr behind another imam, another madhab during Ramadan? I would say yes. There's ikhtilaf in this between Hanafis themselves, but the position of like Imam Razi, Imam Jassas, Razi Jassas, and Imam Shawalillah Dehlawi, and Sheikh Yusuf Benoni, others would be that it seems to be okay. Yeah, you can pray behind them. I wouldn't see a problem, because all the approaches are established from Sahaba. In Birmingham Mosque, when someone dies, they gather for a few days, and when someone joins, they say, read dua. Do you know what is why? Yeah, it's not from the Sahaba. Yeah, it's not anything like that. Generally, they just, when they say read dua, just make any dua for them, like dua karo bhai, and everyone raises their hands. Yeah, it's just like a practice people do, but it's not established from the Sahaba. This, so you can read any dua you want. I mean, sometimes I don't even raise my hands, just to show people that you don't have to do it. But to make the person whose family member they've lost, I kind of just sometimes read. You can read Surah Fatiha if you want, because that's a dua. You can read all in English, your own language, whatever you want to make for the people. Do you find it problematic that people say Sahih Bukhari is the most authentic book after the Quran, despite being technically true? No, I don't find it a problem. Yeah. So, there's nothing wrong with calling Sahih Bukhari to be the most authentic. No problem. Why did this come up? Usaid, I am a beginner, Talib al-Ilm. What advice would you give? Just work your hardest. Yeah, Usaid, work your hardest. Just follow my YouTube videos. Go to Roots of Knowledge, and I've got lots of videos that can help you, inshallah, in your journey. Have you uploaded YouTube video on your journey to learn and master the Arabic language? I've actually made a 4-part series on the Alimya course, so you can check that out. Yeah, and I've also made a series called My Life Journey. Yeah, if you look at My Life Journey, I talked about that. Muhammad Huda, wa alaikum assalam, Muhammad Huda. Naseem, wa alaikum assalam, mashallah. We see each other again. We see each other again after the barbecue. So, oh yeah, so Friday, yesterday, we had a barbecue, mashallah. Our students, our third year and some of our fourth year students got together. We went to the reservoir near Cannon Park and we had a barbecue there, mashallah. And we had chicken and we had burgers and we well, kebab burgers, and we played as well. And played a little bit. We didn't get much time to play that much. But alhamdulillah, it's very nice with the students. I heard it was Fatiha and 3 times Qul. Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah, but like I said, there's nothing from Sahaba that they used to sit down and say, make dua, and everyone used to do dua like that. Yeah, so it's not necessarily established from the Sahaba. That's why these kind of things, technically, people should be aware that this is not from the Sahaba doing in this particular fashion. But the idea of ta'ziyah and making dua is from the Sahaba. So you can do it any style you want. You don't have to gather in the mosque. You don't even have to gather. But ta'ziyah, meeting the person who's passed away and making dua for them, making them feel a bit better, helping them to get over the bereavement period. Is your Evolution of Fiqh playlist on YouTube the same one you taught in person as so far? No, not that one. I hope you are fine and wish to ask about the importance of humility in Islam when having knowledge. Yes, definitely, my brother Muhammad. Humility is very important in Islam. Yeah, very, very important. Was there something specific you want to ask about humility? Mashallah, as long as your stomachs are full, then mashallah. I actually won a race. Yeah, I had a race with one of my friends, Anwar. He comes on here sometimes, Anwar Siddiqui. Had a race with him, and we kind of drew. Eventually, we kind of said it's a draw. Yeah, it's like a draw. It was. So, chalo bhai. Okay. Haydar Ali, can a muqim pray behind a musafir? Yes. So check out my Kuduri videos. I've explained it in there under the chapter of the traveler prayers. If so, what to do with Dhuhr, Asr, Isha for the muqim in the last 2 rakats? So the muqim must basically get up and will make up 2 extra rakats. Still full. Today, Naseem, I actually went and had a steak today. Medium rare steak. Yeah, mashallah, now I'm proper full. Yeah, full to the max. My cousin is in jail and he asked of istimna, would it be permissible for him? I mean, to save himself from any other fitna, possibly, just out of a last resort, but not as a habit. Yeah, possibly as a last resort. Ya Allah. How are your lessons getting on, Haidar Ali? What are you studying? You're studying Qasas an-Nabiyyin. And what else are you studying? At what point does the muqim get up? After salam. That's right. After the salam, he gets up. And if you haven't hit the like button, guys, make sure you hit the like button. Yeah, slam the like button, hit it. Ya Allah. Do you think Muslims should live as ethically as possible or be okay with the current system manufacturing? You see, this is a difficult one because technically, ideally, obviously, Muslims should always, like, depends what you mean by ethical as well, isn't it? Like, for example, there might be someone who believes ethically means that you don't build a house and you live with natural resources and, that kind of lifestyle. So the explanation of ethical, which conforms with Islam, like some people say, slaughtering an animal is not ethical. It's wrong. We shouldn't slaughter animals. We should eat off the earth. So we don't believe in that kind of ethical mindset. Our understanding of ethical is basically whatever conforms with the teaching and doesn't go against Islam. So of course, yes, Muslim in that sense, Muslims should be ethical as possible. But the problem obviously today is we have several unprecedented things that have happened. Like, for example, we have globalization, we have consumerism, we have capitalism, we have like large populations that were never seen before. So providing for all of this is very, very difficult. Yeah, without having a lot of these structures in place, these models in place. Unfortunately, most of these models are very bad models, but you know, like for example, mass herding animals, breeding animals, and providing the meat and leather and all these things, of course. But it's a difficult one. As I would definitely say, it's a very hard because you can't just shift away. You can't just shift 8 billion people, or however is the 7 billion people away from this whole system. Studying Qasas Quduri, Za Talibin, Kirat Rashida now because of your advice. MashaAllah. Excellent. Well done. Good, good, good. I can see slowly your Arabic is getting better. What is your advice on studying Quran translation in Alim class? Best way, techniques. So if you want to study the best way, I would say Quran, study like this. 3 steps. Okay, 3 steps. Number 1 is identify the meaning of each word. You should be able to put your finger on any word in the Quran and say what it means. Number 2, you should be able to break down in sarf, from a sarf perspective, the structure of the word. Yeah, is it like a madi? Is it mudari? Is it amr? Is it ism fa'il, ism maf'ul? All of that. And number 3, you should be able to work out its position in i'rab and tarkib. As long as you can do those 3 things in translation, you've cracked translation. But if you can't do any of those, and unfortunately I see students, what they do is they'll read a translation and then in class they'll try to like just memorize how to fit that translation, superimpose it onto the Arabic, and I think that's the worst thing you can ever do. Yeah, very harmful. Okay, Usaid, have you come to Black Mandar Room? Yes, I came in the last Khatam Jalsa. I was there. I have a question. Is it sunnah to open a business because the Prophet ﷺ was a... No, I mean, the Prophet ﷺ, he obviously opened business, but we don't consider that to be like rewarding in the sense that a person should do it. Islam wants a person to do it. So when we say sunnah, what do you mean by sunnah? I think what you mean by sunnah, did the Prophet ﷺ do it? Of course he did. Does Islam want us to do it? Then not necessarily. No. Yeah. So the Prophet ﷺ lived in Medina. Does Islam want us to live in Medina? Does Islam want all 2 billion people to live in Medina? Of course not. Yeah. The Prophet ﷺ, he wore clothes that were made by hand. Yeah. Does Islam want us to wear clothes that were made by hand? Not necessarily. Yeah. Zad al-Talibin has a lot of mawdu' hadith. Why does Darul teach it? Yeah, so they don't teach it for the hadith, they teach it for tarkib purposes. Yeah, they teach it for tarkib purposes. And ideally, I agree with you. Someone should come and revise the whole book and replace those hadith that are very weak, and or maybe even like a lot of them are not from the Prophet ﷺ, or some of them are not they're from Sahaba, but that doesn't mean they're mawdu' as in just made up totally. So the concept of Nahid, what you need to do is you need to study my Usul Hadith course. You can study my Usul Hadith course, and under the topic of Mawdu, I explain the concept of Mawdu. Yeah. If a layperson asks me a fiqh question and the matter is contentious, should I mention that there is difference of opinion? Just tell them, look, you don't know. That's the best thing to save yourself on the Day of Judgment. Yeah. So you don't have a position, Haidar. Yeah, you don't have a position. And this is not to be rude to you, but you don't have a position because you need to have studied a lot to have a position on something. I guess ethical definition in Islam could be living as close as possible to the fitrah. I do find the issue of capitalism to be difficult to resolve. And yes, it's hard to change everything. Yeah, unfortunately. I mean, in the ideal world, you are totally right. Muslims should have the ability to be able to be self-sustaining and then not to harm others as much as or to minimize harm to the environment and to others. Jazakallah, you're welcome. What can I do for surahs that are so hard to understand, like Surah Adiyat? I still can't understand the surah despite listening. So many commentaries. Yeah, so I mean, it's strange because my first years actually can understand Surah Adiyat. So in the Quranic Arabic, when I go through with them, that's the last surah we cover in the year, and we actually do go through that. So I would just say again, that's the three things I just said to Hey H. That's the three things you need to focus on. Ubaidullah Khan, Ubaidullah, please, yar, stop asking these kind of silly questions. Yeah, I think you know the answer. Yes, being a bit of fitna now. I always say I don't know, but people get angry with me. Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad, ahla wa sahlan. Okay, let me check some questions over here. Okay, Hansa, wa alaikum assalam. What's your view on eyelashes? So Hansa, I do not get any eyelash extensions, as you can see. So my view is that. So I don't know, how do eyelashes work? I'm not into this field. So when you ask me a question about something which is related to like something which is maybe a woman's thing, I think the best thing is for you to give me as much information as possible about this. Generally, the rule of makeup is any type of makeup which is worn in public, which is to attract other people or to give a false image of yourself, is wrong. A person shouldn't do it. Yeah. And you see this a lot, unfortunately, on social media, like women just putting makeup on just to kind of make themselves. Again, but I think you should ask women this kind of question. So an Alimya or something, because they will understand, about women having to wear it. If it's a woman wearing it, for example, for a husband, or in a gathering where there isn't going to be any other men looking at them, then I don't see a problem with it. How to get peace, not so peaceful world? Allah knows. Good question, Naz. Very good question. I'm also looking for the answer as well. Muhammad, ahla wa sahlan. Anything new, any new kind of like quotes you're coming out with? Revert Muslima, is Aqidah the first essential thing for a new Muslim to learn? No, Quran is the first essential thing. Revert, seriously, learn what the Quran is saying. This is how the Sahaba learned Islam. You think about it. How did the Sahaba learn Islam? They learned the Quran first. Learn the Quran. Quran is the most important thing. The meaning of the Quran. And I usually say the position of my teachers. Yeah, as long as you say the position of your teachers, that's fine. Assalamu alaikum assalam. Is it true to say that majority position of the four madhab is that lowering the garment below the ankles without pride is not sinful? That's correct. Sheikh, make another Hanafi style prawn video. I actually have some. Oh yeah, actually have some. Guess what, guys? Guess what? Guess what I've got over here? Take a guess. Who can guess what type of food I've got over here? What type of food I've got over here? Yeah, whoever. Let me see which one of you guys can guess. What kind of food? It's a very strange food. Yeah, and maybe I'll eat it in front of you guys. If someone has a car accident, then their own insurance pays them. The person did a hit and run and hence got away. Are we allowed to keep the insurance money? So I would say you're allowed to keep as much as premium that you have put into it. Yeah, so as much premium that you put into it, then you possibly can. Yeah, and obviously if it's from someone else and they haven't paid you, then I would say that there'd be more possibility for you to take that money. Yeah, so in other words, let's say for example, someone's hit you. The amount of premium you put in is about, let's say, £2,000, but the amount of damage is £10,000, and they're going to pay you. Idea is that it's coming from the others. Then I would say there's possibility there because someone else is supposed to pay you, but they've run away, so you're going to be in loss. So based on that, but otherwise, just generally, I would say only up to the amount of premium that you put in. Is black the only option for a female to wear? No, that's not the only option. What are your thoughts on Dalail Khairat? It's a good book of Salawat ala Rasul. Yeah. Grasshoppers. Yes, you got it, Minhaj, my bro. Grasshoppers, guys. Check this out. Guess what this is? And for you guys over there on Instagram, grasshoppers. Who wants to see me eat grasshoppers? You like to see me? I mean, this is backwards, okay? As last week, someone saw me drinking and said, "Oh, what are you drinking with your left hand for?" This is my right hand. This is my left hand. Yeah, so this is grasshoppers. So shall I eat the grasshoppers? What do you guys think? This is actually basically what happened was One of my friends, his wife heard, like, watched me on live stream, that I got grasshoppers. So what she bought them, and then they tasted it and they didn't like it. So he comes to me, he says to me, "Oh, you know what, my wife bought this, and you know what, she doesn't want to eat it anymore. You can eat it." I go, "TK, bye. I will eat it. I will eat it for you guys." Grasshoppers. And Islam. Assalamu alaikum, Ustad. Is it actually sinful to break UK traffic laws like driving? No, it won't be sinful. Yeah, it won't be considered to be sinful unless you have signed a declaration with them that you will not, and then you have broken your oath, and then that's obviously something else. You have khatal with you. Khatal. No, sorry. That's one thing I will never eat. That's probably one thing I will die before I eat. Yeah, the smell, I can't stand that. Jalebi, not Jalebi. Recommended overall general Islamic history book. I don't know. I mean, anyone got any recommendations for an English history book for Samo? There's actually a guy called Ismail Kamdar. I think his name is Ismail Kamdar. He's got a history series. Try to check that out. I think he's from Canada, and it's apparently supposed to be very extensive. Like, he's done a lot of work on it. These are those grasshoppers. I never saw that coming. Grasshoppers, prawn cocktail crisp. No, grasshoppers. I had someone hit and run my car today. Yeah, subhanAllah. It happened to me as well once. I remember. It's happened to me as well, fortunately. Yeah, so inshallah, just you know what I would say you do? I would say the best thing to do is get a third party, like there's these third party accident companies. Try to find one of those, and they'll do all the thing for you. And if you're lucky, what you can do is it won't even affect your no claims bonus. That's what I did. So in one of my accidents, I actually had footage, so it made it very easy. But if you get the third company, they take obviously the money, so you know you don't get money, but they'll fix your car for you. So I got my car totally fixed, alhamdulillah. So try to get hold of a third party company. I mean, I know a guy in Birmingham that does that. I don't know, where you are, so I wouldn't know who. Tried to chase them but couldn't keep up. I learned something today. Never chase someone down. As if I'd stayed, I could have gotten witnesses. Wisdom sure is bitter. Yeah, subhanallah. So Allah make it easy. This is a test from Allah, inshallah. There's some sort of like khair in there, inshallah. There's going to be some sort of khair that you're going to learn, inshallah. Because the Prophet ﷺ said, a believer is never afflicted with a problem except that the sins are forgiven. That is the biggest khair you can ever have. Yeah, that your sins are forgiven. The smell is bad, but the roasted khatal seeds are really, really delicious. Yeah. Oh, is khatal? I thought khatal was a fish. Is it khatal jackfruit? Is there jackfruit you're talking about? So, what are your guides on keeping a beard? Are the guides of keeping a beard? Well, you have to keep a beard. What company? I mean, if you email me, I can give you a number, and maybe that guy will be able to help you. Yeah, if you email me, maybe inshallah I'll give you the number of the guy, and you contact him, and maybe he can help you. Or to be, yeah, email me, and inshallah I'll give you the contact detail, and maybe you can. Inshallah. I didn't even know grasshoppers were halal, so I couldn't get a guest. Yes, I love jackfruit. Jackfruit, I love it, bhai. I love jackfruit. I went to this my friend's house. He's Bangladeshi, and he gave me, like, sitting there, and I was the only Pakistani there, and he put right in front of me. We were breaking our fast, jackfruit, and I was just eating it away, man. Eating, and like I kind of like realized. I go, oh, sorry, I heard it's quite expensive as well. And I said to the guy, sorry, you guys eat as well. You go, no, carry on eating. I was like killing it. Jazakallah khair. Grant you the company also for those. Ameen. You're welcome, my brother. You're welcome. Wa alaikum assalam. Sharif, ahlan wa sahlan. Usman Ahmed, what do you think about Darul Uloom's focusing more on Urdu, leaving less attention on Arabic, making it kacha? Yeah, I'm against that, my brother. I'm totally against. So I think if you want to learn Urdu, it's fine, but do not teach all the books in Urdu. The books should be taught in Arabic, ideally, and then in the local language, i.e. English. Yeah, because you want the students to have the least obstacles when learning the science. Haider Ali, I teach Quran locally and got messages from females for one-to-one classes. I said no, as I didn't feel comfortable. Was this correct? I said, correct. Yeah, you don't want to get into that fitna, bro. Inshallah, yes, Bangladesh national fruit. Yeah, so I love that. Yeah, so if anyone wants to get me anything for my birthday, get me khatal, bro. Khatal. Okay. Okay, I don't know how to bring these questions up. Can you do tax evasion because the government is non-Muslim? Astaghfirullah. Sayyidi asking random questions now. What is the Ahnaf opinion on someone who is a company like Amazon, they deliver packages? So yes, it's permissible. Orient Samurai, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Sheikh, will you continue the Mukhtar Quduri? Yes, inshallah, I will. Next time, packages jackfruit. Yeah, I love jackfruit. Yeah, actually, one of my friends, my students, Fahad. Yeah, he like in Ramadan gave me like a whole tub just with like all the jackfruit taken out, put inside. Okay, Hansa, they stuck to the glue eventually. So Hansa, if you send me explaining later, then I'll have a look at that. Yeah, because there's like lots of questions I have to ask about these kind of things because it's like not as straightforward. I hate this. Hi. Haider Ali, I find it frustrating that masjids do khutbahs in Urdu, as my friend who is a revert does not feel attached. Yeah, I can understand. What's khatal and when's your birthday? Khatal is basically jackfruit, my brother Muhammad. Yeah, and my birthday has gone. It's in July next year. Well, I can have a birthday anytime I want. Wa alaikum assalam, boxing. Ahlan wa sahlan, ahlan wa sahlan. How are you, my brother? You good? Sheikh, will the stream uploaded? Yes, inshallah, it will be uploaded. Mehmet Taz, hi, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome, my brother Mehmet. Yeah, so that's that, guys. Yeah, had a nice time live streaming with you guys. Do you have an iPad? Was thinking of getting a tablet for reading. Yes, I have an iPad. I have two iPads, a small one, iPad 2019 or 2021. And I also have a 2022 iPad Pro. Yeah, both are very, very good. Yeah, so the small one I use when I'm just like reading something, just kind of go over something, or if I need like, to travel somewhere, it's easy to handle. It's light. And the other larger one, I use it for more sort of like work as well. Yeah, so that's used for making my notes. It's used for writing up documents. It's used for presentations and other things as well. Yeah, so at the moment I'm going to get a laptop, inshallah. So the next thing is, so my other Apple laptop, it's kind of the battery slowly starting to get weaker and weaker. So I'm going to get myself a laptop, inshallah ta'ala. And because I need to, unfortunately, Apple's so clever. They kind of deliberately make the iPad in such a way that you can't do laptop things with it. Yeah, that's the sad reality of these dodgy people. Okay. How do we provide constructive criticism to someone that finds it hard to accept? I don't know. I mean, I am very bad in giving people like constructive criticism because I come across a bit harsh. So I don't know. Maybe you can check it out, YouTube it, how to give people sort of like how to break criticism to people. If anyone got any good tips? Do you recommend to do the initial years of Alimya privately, maybe 1 to 3, have a Pakka foundation? That's a good idea. If you can do that, if you can study the whole Alimya 1-to-1, that's the best thing, in my opinion. But there are a lot of drawbacks to it. Yeah, studying Alimya 1-to-1 is the best because you get tailored lessons for you. You got your own pace. You can go fast as you want. You can go slow as you want. You can ask the teacher questions. It's very, very informal. And, it's a really good experience. I actually experienced both. So I actually studied in a classroom, and I also on the side was studying privately. A lot of the books that I already studied in madrasa, I was repeat studying them again privately. So I benefited a lot. So I would definitely say, but there's drawbacks to this kind of thing. My car broke down right next to a sofa. I wanted to go in and hopefully see you, but I looked scruffy, sweaty from the shukr to Allah that yeah. Now I don't know, maybe I would have been in, maybe I wouldn't be in, depends what time it was. But yeah, I mean, if I'm free, inshallah, why not come down? Sheikh, you're moving up. Yes, that's the way, man. You know, let me tell you guys a tip here. If you want to do any khidmah of the deen, always utilize the best resources you can to do it. The Sahaba did that. Without a doubt, Sahaba did this. If you want to benefit the deen, you have to use the best resources. You have to have the best, ways of learning, the fastest. Anything that's going to make your process of learning fast, make it more efficient, make it more easier to be able to explain. I would definitely recommend it. Yeah, that's why my next mission now is to look for. I'm still looking for, electronic whiteboard, so I can write on smartboard. It's not sinful to speed or run through. It's not Islamically, you won't be held responsible on the day of judgment for it. But obviously, if you hit someone, then you will. Constructive criticism, I found before criticizing, praise the good qualities, and then you find. Oh, you mean like a BS sandwich? Have you heard of those BS sandwiches? السلام عليكم يا غالي، كيف حال يا أخي الكريم من باكستان، أهلا وسهلا، أتمنى أن تكون بخير وأن تكون محفوظا من هذه الأمطار التي أصيبت باكستان. نسأل الله تعالى العافية لكم ولهم. Have you heard of the rains in Pakistan and the floods? And a lot of people unfortunately have died. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give them Jannat al-Firdaus, the ones that passed away, and to also comfort the families as well, because it's very disrespectful. Your whole house gets destroyed, and unfortunately a lot of the poor people are the ones who have been afflicted by this. So if you can support them in any way possible, definitely. And those recently in Bangladesh as well, and in any other country where people have been affected, whatever support I would say you can do, definitely support them 100%. My studies have been online. I would say the best thing about it is that you can go back and watch recordings and correct your notes from class. Also, any questions, I could just WhatsApp my teacher. Yeah, but I mean, I don't find online to be the best way of studying. Like, I personally would like to teach students face to face, because you can see their reaction. You can see, like, this way is like the way that has been tried and tested by the Sahaba and the Tabi'in and Taba Tabi'in. So therefore, this way has to be good. I'm not saying that online is wrong. Obviously, I teach online as well. What I'm saying is that there's limitations to online, like limitations as to the way you present yourself, the way you take criticism from your teacher. Like, being face to face, it has a totally different way of how a person sees lessons as well, if you know what I mean. Subhan, indeed, best resources. Dr. Shadi said the other day you should be a gangster in your profession in his talk about a gangster in your profession. That sounds good. What did he mean by gangster? What should you do if the other household is not on board with a marriage deposited, istikhara and every other measure being positive? If they're not on board, that's it. So basically, istikhara is when both groups are happy to go through with it. That's when you do istikhara. You never do istikhara at the beginning. Yeah, it's not like you see someone's car across the road and you say, right, I want to buy that, I'm going to do istikhara. And then you go to their house, knock on the door and say, can I buy your car? You go, no, I'm not selling it. That's not how you do istikhara. Istikhara is always after the meeting. Assalamu alaikum, ahlan wa sahlan, my brother Ra'is. Long time, my brother Ra'is. Face-to-face shows who is serious. Yes, face-to-face shows serious. It actually, like, physically affects you, because when you see the teacher looking at you, the way that you kind of behave in front of the teacher, it's so many things. Sheikh Noor Keller talked about being affected by the hal of the teacher when they're in the presence. Yeah, I 100% agree with this idea of the hal. Like, it is definitely something. Ya Allah. Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Right, guys. I think my night is coming to an end, mashallah. On Insta as well. You guys have been on for a very long time. So Jazakumullah khair, guys. Thank you. Oh, actually, should I have some Do you guys want to see me eat some grasshoppers? Do you guys want to see me? If there's enough people, if there are 10 yeses, I will eat grasshoppers in front of you. Yeah, if there has to be 10 yeses, different people, not the same person, yeah, that just says yes. There has to be 10 yeses, yeah, and then then that's basically. Can we say taqabbal Allah after prayer? Why not? You can say anytime you like. Taqabbal Allah. Okay, 1 yes, 2 yes. How do you give me one? Ibrahim, yes, that's 3 yes. MP says no. Okay, mashallah. No, you can't have like 3 no's by 4 no's. 1 no is enough. Uthman, who said I listen to in an argument, my mother or wife? Who should I listen to in an argument? Whoever you want, my brother. Because you're never gonna win. You're never gonna win the argument. I mean, the argument, it's not like it's more nuanced than just who do I listen to. It's about what kind of discussion is it, what is the problem, a person knows their situation better than anyone. Ideally, obedience to the mother is always, but there's exemptions to all of this. Assalamu alaikum. Property or business or product, etc. of this nature is purchased, and let's say a week after purchase, people come forward with injury, harms of some type. Who is liable, current or previous? As a property or business or product, etc. of this nature is purchased. I don't understand the question. So someone purchased something, yeah, and then what happened? Oh, I forgot. And Instagram is there as well. You guys. Okay, so 3 people on Instagram says yes, yeah, to eat the grasshoppers. Let's see how much. So, Sharif, you have to explain your question a bit more. I'm not too sure. Become vegan. Actually, today I had MP. I had a nice T-bone steak today. It was medium rare. What I'll do, guys, I'll put that picture up how medium rare it was. It was so nice. The red color inside the meat. It was just so lovely. I tell you. I don't know if you guys love. Yeah, so there's 2 here. Yeah. So there's this one. Yeah. Roasted crickets. Bug Vita. And there's this one. This one's a bit spicy, I think. This is like the spicy version. So for Instagram guys, you guys can check it out as well, just to make you guys a bit happy. And this is it. So you guys can check this out. Okay. Oh, there's some private questions here as well. Sheikh, what is the current dars you are teaching, and do you need to be a patron? So at the moment, I was teaching Hidayah. You don't have to be a patron to join that. Yeah, that was free of charge. But I'm not going to be continuing it at the moment because I only do that in my holiday time. But yeah, you can join that, inshallah. 10 no's. Yes. Oh, I think you guys have hit the target. Yeah, you remember that kind of like game where the guy sits and there's like water underneath and you have to like hit the target and then he falls in. 10 no's. Medium rare steak is gorgeous. However, Etsy Mehmet was too expensive. Never again. I've never been there. I don't think I'll probably go. I think it's probably too much money to spend. But if maybe someone, I don't know, maybe someone is generous enough to take me there, then I will go. I will go and eat it just to kind of taste what it's like. Which iPad good for reading? As what I wanted to use it for. So you want reading, yeah? So get yourself the basic iPad. So you can get a basic iPad, which is just not a Pro. Just get a normal, what they call normal iPad. Yeah, I think the new iPads that come out, they've got the M1 chip in there. I think it's supposed to be quite fast. You don't need that. If you get like a 2021, 2021s are a good model. Yeah, because they actually changed it from the previous ones. It's very good, very lightweight. Definitely. I mean, you can get a mini one if you want, but it depends how you find reading. I like the large ones because the Pro is quite big, so you can actually see the writing larger. Does a child have to pray full prayers on a journey, or is it a choice either way? So a child under the age of puberty is not obligated to pray. But if they do pray, then they'll pray according to how we Okay, I will taste them, guys. Yeah, MP, make sure you're watching. Yeah, carefully. Look. All right. Look at this, guys. MashaAllah. MashaAllah. These bichare. Bichare. Check out this guy. This guy, I will call this guy James. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see this. Yeah, I'll have to move my face out the camera so that you guys can see. Can you see this? Can you see my friend? So this is, can you see his eyes? Yeah. Fatiha James, guys. So James was a good guy. He came on the live streams a few times, but unfortunately, yeah, he came when he was dead. Bismillah. Oh, yeah. This is fantastic. Okay, let me have some more, guys. Actually, what I'll do is, let me just put someone to here so we can have a little bit of party. Yeah, because you guys, you know, like, obviously like watching all these. Can you see them? Yeah, you guys can see them, can't you? These are all grasshoppers. These are my friends. So there they are. Can you see? Can you see them now? Grasshoppers. Right, let's have some of these. We're leaving. At least have it with water. No, you have to eat it like that to taste the richness. Yeah, I can taste this one. Tastes like it was running. It was like jumping in a lot of grass. That's what it tastes like. Like a bush tucker trial, but with they taste like, you know, pistachio. They taste a bit like pistachio, but without the saltiness. Yeah, it's like a dry pistachio you bite into and you can't. It's like I don't know how to describe it. Yeah, something like that. Like a dry pistachio. Remember, there used to be these crisps a long time. I don't know if you remember. A long time ago, there used to be these crisps. They were like this kind of like puffed kind of crisps, but they were hollow inside. They were puffy, but they were hollow inside, like a hollow tube. Yeah, and they were like very, very light. You could bite onto it. Tastes a bit like, you know, like sometimes when you have a hard samosa where it has a hard edge. Yeah, a hard edge. And you kind of like, you know, this kind of, you bite them. Your mom used to make them when you were a kid. You used to like them. They're kind of like that. Yeah. That was Charlie. Yeah. It was Charlie, man. So let me have another one, guys. This is another one. What should we call this guy before we eat him? Let me show you guys his eyes. His eyes are like his, when he looks at me, it's like, hey, why are you eating me, man? Hey, why are you eating me, man? Please don't eat me. I'm your friend. No, you're not. You're not my friend. You're a grasshopper. I have to eat you. Sahabas ate this. So if you want to eat Sahaba's food, well, obviously they don't eat this, but oh, this one looks like it's got a fat belly. Even better. They're very dry, yeah. Skips. What they call skips? Yeah. Skips here. I think they're skips here. You can eat a live one, but you gotta kill it, obviously, you know. Bob. I'm just saying it was called Bob. Yeah. So I think Instagram, a lot of people have just like signed off, right? We can't take it anymore. MashaAllah. Trust me, I'm gonna answer your questions. Yeah, too good. And if anyone comes to my house, I will serve you this. Say you purchased a pharmaceutical and a week later, 1,000 people say are sick for products manufactured by the company. How is it liable? So Islamically, the people they bought it off before you, they would be the ones that would be liable. Yeah, so they would be the ones that would be liable, and they would have to obviously, pay them compensation or return the goods. You wouldn't be liable for that. That's what Islamically, but I don't know in American law how it works. Would eating a live locust, yes, as a grasshopper. What sounds Mexican, so call him Carlos. Hey Carlos, you want to be eaten by me? Too late, man. Hey, you're eaten by me. Insect rights. Muhammad Hussein, alaikum assalam. Muhammad Hussein, come have some locust grasshoppers. These are grasshoppers, my brother. Yeah, grasshoppers, bro. I arrived at the wrong time. Well, was it the wrong time? Or was it actually the right time? What are you actually eating? It's grasshoppers, my brother. 6-legged superfood, they're called. Basically, if you eat this, you get. Shall I say what you get? I'm gonna read to you what the packet says. Okay, there's a packet. Yeah, I will tell you what you got. So basically, farmed in the UK and fed a locally sourced vegetable-based diet, hot and spicy sriracha crickets are 6-legged superfood. First, our crickets are coated in delicious sriracha sauce, which is proudly produced in the UK using aged red jalapenos. They are then roasted to crispy, spicy perfection. These crickets can be enjoyed as a snack, like I'm doing, or used in cooking. Biryani per grasshopper, good idea. So if you're making biryani for someone, you throw a packet of these in. What's more, just a quarter of a bag will provide 100%. Listen to this. A quarter of this bag will provide 100% of an adult's RDA of vitamin B12. I don't know what that is, but it just sounds real scientific. And so I'm going to stick to that. Yeah. Insects are eaten by 80% of the world's nations. Why not join in today? Yeah. MashaAllah. This is fantastic. This is excellent stuff. Protein. Oh, this is filled with protein. Proteins, bioavailable ions, antioxidants, prebiotic fiber, vitamin B12, calcium, potassium. What more do you want? You don't even have to go shopping anymore. Just eat these morning, afternoon. So these are spicy. These are like quite like my mouth's burning a bit. Yeah, whilst eating these. But So this is the brand, my brother. Yeah, Bug Vita. It's called Bug Vita. You Google it. But remember, don't eat all bugs. Going to Hanafis, it's only grasshoppers you can eat. Can I do tajweed lessons on social media? I've attained an ijaza in the Quran. If your teacher's happy with your ijaza, then inshallah, why not? Put some salt on these grasshoppers. Where can I order them from? I want to join the team. Yes, my brother, you can join our team. Are they salty? Not really. No, not very salty. They're a bit spicy. Like, Benny. Jane might have given you bad dua. I'm gonna find out tomorrow morning. Oh yeah, this is fantastic. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go now. So jazakallah khair, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I pray that you guys have a wonderful week. Enjoy the bank holiday if you're in the UK. Enjoy the bank holiday Monday. And inshallah, I will see you guys next week. Is it haram to, mashallah, Abdullah Afzal, is it haram to wear a t-shirt with a drawing? If it's large, that from a distance people can see it's a drawing, then you can't pray salat in there. It won't necessarily be haram to wear, but your salat will be makruh, considered makruh to pray in it. If it's small, you can't really tell unless you get very, very close, then it's okay. Is that why Saudis and Saudi catch them, eat them alive? I don't know, do they? Maybe. Alhamdulillah. Did you hear Saudi jail? Yeah, I heard about that. The former Imam. Yeah. And I'm going to go off Instagram. So take care, Instagram, guys. Oof. Yeah, it's a bit spicy. Yeah, Allah. Can get some scientific nutrition from a cheeseburger. Yeah, that's true as well. That's a good point there. For speaking against concert and mix. Oh, subhanAllah. Saudi a lot. What does it actually taste like? It tastes like spicy pistachios without the salt. Oh, that one I think it bit my tongue. Even though it's dead, came back to life. I'm gonna destroy you. You destroyed my life. So until next time, guys. Have a wonderful week. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.